week 12, our last week in phase 1, which is wild and crazy. And anyway, to think that we are crossing out of phase 1 and that tonight is our last weigh-in phase 1. So let's go ahead and jump on the scales and see how you did last week in your last week.
This is Sarah, 266.
Name 192.6.
So I have some standings here. Tonight we are going to find out who is the season 12 winner of Biggest Transformation phase 1. And so in 7th place, down, you know what? Don't you guys think we should wait? We should get to this later, huh? The final standings. Okay. Yeah, I agree. We'll put those aside. We'll wait, but we will get to them. All right. So, yeah, we'll wait. All right. So, okay. Tonight, here's the thing. Tonight's a really important, really special night. You know, one of the things that is really crucial when you're doing anything that takes work, that takes intention, that requires you to make some real changes, it's really important from time to time to be able to stop, to be able to recognize how far you've come, to have a micro celebration, because you don't want to stop too long. You know, there's a quote that says, don't rest in the middle, rest when you're done. And I feel like so often people rest in the middle because they're just like, oh, I'm just so whatever. And you don't ever want to rest until you get to where you're going. However, stopping and having a micro celebration is really healthy, because that is kind of where we can recognize, because listen, human nature is it's always easier to see where we're not versus where we're at. It's always easier to recognize the mess ups versus the progress. It's always easier for us to point out what's going wrong versus what's going right. And if we look at the last 12 weeks, here's what I know. None of you are where you were. None of you are where you were. Even if you're not exactly where you want to be, you're not where you were. You've taken so many steps. You've made so much progress. And for some of you, even, I'm going to go ahead and say this, for some of you, your phase 2 is going to be, you're going to kind of do like what I did, where you're like, where my second 90 days, like I kind of worked out all the kinks and I was like, I figured some stuff out and I was like, all right, enough of this 3 steps forward, 4 steps back crap, like, let's go, right? So it took me a minute to figure it. I'm not always the sharpest tool in the shed. A little hard-headed. It takes me, you know, I have to like hit my head against the wall several times sometimes before I'm like, all right, this hurts. I should stop. And so I think for some of you guys, your phase 2 is going to be even better than your phase 1. But tonight is not really anything about me. In fact, I'm going to do very little talking. You guys are going to be doing most of the talking. Your first question tonight is going to be, how much have you lost in the past 12 weeks?
Okay, everybody, my name is Jenna, and in the past 12 weeks, I have lost 2.4 pounds.
My name is Natasha Barnes. In the past 12 weeks, I've lost 25.8 pounds.
My name is Amy, and I am currently 33 plus weeks pregnant, and in the last 12 weeks, I've lost 14.2 pounds. No, 15.4 pounds, right? Is that the correct number?
Hello, my name is Janine Roberts, and I have lost an amazing 18.6 pounds in the last 12 weeks.
I'm Sarah, and in the past 12 weeks, I lost 34.8 pounds. Yay!
My name is Egina Jean, and I'm 38 weeks pregnant. In the past 12 weeks, I lost 7.6 pounds.
My name is Mila, and I am actually entering my third trimester this Wednesday, and I've lost 2.5 pounds in the last 12 weeks.
What is something inside of the season that you thought was going to be hard that ended up being easy? So something you were like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard, and it ended up being easier than you thought. Okay.
Okay, so something that I thought was hard that actually became super easy was like sticking to my workouts. So that's something that I definitely like continue doing, and now I'm just like addicted to it and I love it. So that's something that definitely became a lot easier for me as the weeks went by. So
Something that I thought was going to be extra hard that became easy was using the containers for every meal. I thought that it wouldn't be enough food or I would be hungry all the time, but it actually is more than enough. So
Okay, I agree with Jenna. The workouts were something that I thought were going to be really hard because I hadn't worked out in pregnancy in a very long time, over the decade or so. So thought that was going to be hard, but that became easy.
So for me, I think what I thought was going to be hard was honestly doing this a second time after coming from a previous season, and just the fear that comes with that of putting the weight back on or getting off track again. And it's been just such a huge blessing to be back in this for a second time. And so for me, it's just, just the mindset of knowing that I've got it this time, that I'm not going to go back to the way it was, and I'm not going to put this weight back on again.
Also was concerned about working out in the morning, like a Minnesota winter and 5 degrees. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go out there and do that. But that was really something I've learned to really enjoy and look forward to. And I would say what was even harder than that was probably just knowing we were going to be doing this during the holiday season. And I just realized my goals are bigger than a mound of mashed potatoes. And I can say no to mashed potatoes and say yes to achieving my goals.
Yeah, something I thought that was gonna hard for me, but it become like way easier is drinking all my water. Like I have struggled like with that water thing like for years. I can't drink water. I actually drink more than 8 bottles a day. I try like almost every hour to drink like 1 bottle, and I also have like a half gallon, so I carry everywhere, so that helped me. So that was the thing I thought was gonna be like hard for me, but it become easy.
Well, I think I'm gonna piggyback on Sarah's because I was thinking about the workouts too, just because like I was like actively growing, and so I was surprised at how the workouts, it's not that they weren't challenging, but like to do them every day. But I would say that the more important one for me was probably like saying no to the things that I thought I wanted. And while I had a couple of holidays that like were difficult to say no, when I eventually did say no at Thanksgiving, like for Halloween, I think I didn't say no a couple of times to candy. And then in Thanksgiving, I was just like, no, I'm just not going to have it. And it turns out like it was so not a big deal. Like I thought it was a much bigger deal than I thought I would have this like FOMO, and I just didn't. Like it just was so easy to just be like, no, you know what? I'm not going to eat that. And so that felt really good for holidays for sure.
Gosh, this is so great. We should just do this every week. I just let you guys talk. Like, I love your answers. Okay, so next question. What is something, we're gonna flip the script on this. What is something that you thought was gonna be easy that ended up being more difficult or more challenging than you thought? You know, that thing that we're like, oh yeah, I got this. And then you're like, whoa, I don't got this at all.
I think that I thought was going to be easy is actually like following the containers. I began to like really struggle with measuring and just like using my containers. Like I thought it would be easy in the beginning, and then like once I like kind of like quote unquote got the hang of it, then I started like eyeballing, and then that wasn't working. So then I started going back to using the containers. So for me, it was definitely like using the containers and getting used to that.
I had a thing about the water, and it came true. I was hoping it would be easier, but it has been one of those things. But it has been the longest I've ever drunk this much water every single day and ever. So I'm grateful for this new habit because I know I wasn't getting enough water. I was drinking nowhere near this much water. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, I agree. I thought it was going to be easy, and it has not been. And the bigger I get, the less room it seems like I have to drink water. But I know the days that I haven't drank it, and I feel horrible. So being up at night and using the bathroom because I'm pregnant, I'm just going to do that anyway. So I just figured just get it in.
So for me, the thing I thought was going to be easier, but turned out to be a little bit harder, has been the exercising. And so it's the opposite of some of you, but man, it seems like this time I have had to, like, I have to force myself, and sometimes I have a crappy attitude about it and have to like self-talk myself and say, Janine, you love this. Janine, this is for your good. Janine, this is helpful. You need, and all that, like I have to like do some self-talk because I get whiny to where I'm just like, I don't want to. And so it's been like it's been a fight with myself to get myself to do regular 6-day-a-week workouts. And I don't even think it was harder I don't think it was this hard last time. It's really been a fight, and some days I'm fine, and once I start, like once I get my butt in there and get it turned on and get started, I'm fine. But it's like I don't know, I have fought with it this time. So yeah, it has been the workouts for me.
I think the thing that I thought was going to be easy that ended up being hard was rest days. And the reason why is, I was a pro at being a couch potato, no problem. But when you're like you can't be a couch potato and eat potato chips or whatever you want to do, and thinking about like, oh, I've got to drink this much water before noon, or I'm going to be behind the 8 ball for the rest of the day. And then you're trying to like figure out, okay, is this rest? So it a lot of times I did my rest days on weekdays just to keep myself on track. Otherwise I could tell that I was going to slide on my water or on my containers. So by moving my rest day to Tuesdays, I was still on track, but just not working out that day. And so for this last Sunday was a real rest day, and boy, I took advantage of it because I was tired. So yeah, I think that was for me the hardest, was just learning how to manage the plan without the plan managing you on rest days.
For me, it's the containers. It's like, sometimes it's hard for me to stick on the containers because of the sometimes I have long days and I don't really know when it's gonna be, depending of my job and stuff. So it's flexible, and That's the first thing. And the second one is on my rest days. So I usually take Sunday as my rest day, and my husband is usually like here. It's kind of hard for me to not cheat on this day, like on Sunday, because that's the only day I have with him. So, and he's not on the plane. So yeah, that's the two hardest thing for me.
Hello. So I think for me, what I thought would be easy was like the exclusions. And by that I mean like when I came into this program, I was just like, oh, I eat like very healthy, and I always eat like veggies and fruits, and like I have flax seeds on my oatmeal. And I think what I didn't realize was like the amount of the week that I'm actually not doing that. And like all the other little things that I eat during the week because I have work functions, or I'm eating some of my toddler snacks, or I'm going to a party, or my in-laws, or my, mom's, and she has like desserts. And I just had this like mentality that, yeah, like all my food is really healthy. I just eat too much of it. So like, this is going to be really easy. I just need to like cut down. No, like I found out that there was a lot of things that I was doing that were actually getting in the way. And I think it was when I accepted that, okay, like I might skip my work dinner. I might skip going out with the girlfriends for 12 to 24 weeks, or like, I just have to do that because I didn't realize to what extent that was like kind of hindering me.
Your next question is, we've been through a lot together in these past 12 weeks. What has been your most memorable quote from me or another cast member, or the quote that just literally plays in your head, the thing that you, whether you want to remember it or not, the thing that you heard that just sticks in your brain the most?
So there's a lot of quotes from you, Carmen, and I write them all down. But honestly, like, you literally inspire me a lot. But there was this one quote that I wrote down. One of them is, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And life being the fruit of it. That's like a really good quote. But one thing that I always like remembered, and I always rule it in my head, is like, if you're not going to be good to yourself, and like you're not going to do the things that you really, really want, then how can you be a good mother, a good wife, a good, daughter, a good career woman? And it's like so on point, because there's like times where like I really want to post like my skincare routine on like Instagram, or like show my face more as an esthetician. But like in the beginning, I wanted to do that so bad when I was like already at a good weight. But now it's just like, I get shy, and like that is holding me back from like me, like being a better career woman. So that is something that is so true. And like, it's like so true. And then you said something else. There was another one. You can't have a positive life with a negative mouth. And that's like a really another one that like I always like stick to. So, you have to fall in love with the work. Like, there's a lot of them that I wrote down. And then, get your mind right, believe and know. So yeah, and then be a light to yourself, because you never know who you are setting an example to and for. So.
All right. I'm going to say two. One is, nothing becomes dynamic until it becomes specific. I know I can make very vague, like, I want to be successful, I want to be this, or I want to look like this, or whatever. But when you made us do like the vision boards and like start to look at things and visualize it, and then you say your vision is your bridge, put a picture to what your future looks like. It just, being able to say, be okay with wanting to do what you want to do, if that makes sense. Because sometimes it feels like you're always trying to take care of everybody else, and it's like, well, I'll get to me eventually. And and it's like, it's okay to make the time to put yourself first, or to have a vision, so like writing what weight I want to be the next week, every week in the bathroom is something I did. Like, this is what I want to be next week. This is what I want to be next week. So, and this week it worked. So it's good.
I knew this was like coming up, but I just didn't have like specific quotes like kind of going through my head. But I think in general, if I were to like look back and think of when things were difficult, how did I push through? And it was really like kind of along the lines of you're more than a conqueror kind of scripture stuff. But like, I can do hard things was probably maybe the most prominent. Definitely life and death in the power of the tongue, that kind of stuff. Take every thought captive. Because those are like scriptures that I kind of just, kind of knew. And definitely during the hard times, I pushed through with those.
So for me, it's definitely the worst thing about success is a little bit, because I saw that when I was in season 4. I had some success. I lost 45 pounds, and then I let bad habits start creeping in little by little, and we all know it's a slow fade back into those bad habits. And so that was proof to me that quote is very real, that I saw the success. I started feeling good about myself. I started feeling good about what I saw in the mirror, how my clothes fit. And so I started, letting excuses or justifying, well, I can eat, more, or I can have cheat days, or I can do this or that because I've lost the weight, right? And and then before I know it, there I was back at starting point, back at the same place. And it's because I let that little bit of success, sway me.
I couldn't land on just one either. So the first one is just kind of echoing what Janine is saying, that how you lose the weight is how you keep it off. So this isn't just 12 weeks and I'm going to be fabulous and never have to worry about it again. This is building lifelong habits. And then it's the other thought is just the watermelon of seed quotes. There's the what the mouth says, the mind believes, and that I can reject those seeds from you, but I can also cry out crop failure with the seeds that I'm planting myself, that I learned from Queer Eye the other day. So it was just fun to see that God wink, the things that we're learning with you, Carmen. Just seeing it on TV was just really sweet. So just rejecting the seeds that are negative, that can plant weeds both from other people and ourselves.
Yes, I have a couple, but I think the one that I stick on is life and death. Is is on the power of your tongue, and I got that from you, and I forgot the name of the lady. Like, we were like in a group call, but she said something about stay on the plane, stick to the plane, and trust the process.
Okay. So I mean, some of the ones that I had, you guys said, like, you can't have a positive life with a negative mouth. Speak life, speak it, then your mind will believe it. I really like that one too. And I'm sorry, I have a few, so just bear with me. I'm eating according to my goals, not for my cravings. When you do something often, it becomes a superhighway. What habits do I have that lead me to where I've been versus where I want to go? I love that one. And you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. I really like that one. Whatever we're not choosing, or whatever we're not changing, we are choosing. And then the last one that I think about all the time, which is kind of like more casual and fun, is that food is just future proof. I think about that all the time.
Next question. What are you most proud of yourself for accomplishing in the past 12 weeks?
So I would say there's like a few things that I'm proud of. One is like the past like even like few weeks, I've just been like in this mindset of just really being as consistent as I can be. And like even when I do go out, like and there is like food and temptation in front of me, I just like really, really try to just, not dive in and take it. And I feel like for me, like I don't feel like I'm missing out on it either. Like I feel like it's just I've always like stuck in my head what you said before too. And you've always said like, this is not going to go extinct, these foods, like it will come again next year, so like the pumpkin pies and, whatever foods that there were like around Thanksgiving, like they're going to come up again and I can treat myself to it, and I've always had these foods in the past. So something in my head that like I've rewired is like these foods are not going to ever go away. And I can really just, this is how I can like stick to my plan. And another thing is like this plan is for life. Like I want to stick to this for as forever, it can be like a really nice lifestyle that I can stick to. And I think just like training my mind to like having, a good mindset with this plan and just sticking to it forever will really like help me. And also another thing that I'm really proud of is just working out and loving it. Like I love working out and, you know, like in the beginning, I used to be kind of shy going to the gym just because like of me gaining weight and like just seeing people I know in my community. But now it's like I don't even care because everybody's at the gym for something, and like I just don't care anymore. Like they're gonna see me at a weight, like like a heavy weight, like for a couple months, and then like they're gonna see me like slim, after that or whatever. So yeah, I would just say like those are the couple things that I'm really like proud of. And I'm just so happy that I, have like this group that I can talk to and be accountable. And even when I'm having days where like I'm like in that, mood where I'm like kind of like, stressed or whatever, like I just hop on the, polos and I'm just like listening to everybody's day and it just brightens up my day, even if I don't, talk that day or whatever. I just love listening to everyone. So
most proud of for the last 12 weeks is that I consistently made sure I did 6 workouts a week or double it whenever I missed one, and believed in myself to do this because I being pregnant the 7th time, I have always gained weight every single time. And so just even trusting to apply, you know what I mean, and go for it. I'm just proud of opening up to people that I would never, like, Amy was like, these not my people. I was like, yeah. And then, you're like, hey, whatever, So it's just life-changing, like to just have this process and this team. This really is a team. So I appreciate that.
I had sent a message to Carmen at one point before I got sick, and it's still the same. It genuinely, I was shocked that I had gotten to a point that you said that we would get to someday, but I think I got to it a little bit sooner than I was thinking. It was that I just had a thought that came through my head that I couldn't wait to work out. And that shocked me because that is not me at all. And I didn't have any, wasn't reading anything, wasn't having any influences really that day. Like I literally just was like, I can't wait to work out again. So I like sent you that message. I was like, I'm just so blown away that my brain actually did that. And then I think you guys may remember I had a dress that I wanted to wear possibly that was too small. I couldn't even put it like over my head and like get my arms in and stuff. I'm wearing it tonight. So I was just really excited that like my arms fit in and my back. But the working out and putting on the dress and like I now have stronger legs and stronger abs and my belly is getting really big and it's really just a baby at this point. And that surprised me a lot. Like after having, the sixth pregnancy, like in my early 40s, there's skin and stuff going on, and it's like, it's toning up. So that's amazing to me. So I'm really proud of myself.
So what am I the most proud of myself for? First of all, I'm down 18.6 pounds, so that's wonderful. But really the first thing was putting my pride aside and applying for a second time. I was on track through Thanksgiving, which has never, ever, ever happened. Yeah, that was a biggie. I mean, just a holiday, that used to be filled with candy, homemade candies and desserts. Planning Christmas around what I can eat. I mean, we will of course have food for everyone else, but also making sure that I make food that I can have. Following the plan even when I don't feel like it. And then staying on track when we go out, because we want to keep going out for date night and things like that. And so I've stayed on track, and that is surprising, but also proud of myself for it.
I would say I'm most proud of myself for giving myself one more shot. Because before this, I had tried so many programs, so many plans, and I would stick to it for a couple weeks and then start sliding and then wondering why it wasn't working and then give up. And I had to put aside my ego and my pride and go, okay, do I really want to go on a YouTube show where I put my scale on display for everyone to see? And do I show people where I've been and where I'm going? And I'm so thankful that I had Matthew and Krista Joy to ask, like, okay, you guys did this, like, how did you do this? Like, for real. And just seeing their progress and the fact that they kept it off for so long, the fact that Carmen was such a success story, and I'm proud that she picked me, that's another thing I'm very proud of. And just being part of this group, it's been awesome. And just hearing everybody's story, and no matter what, we're very resilient, and we've got this, and we are going to get through it during phase 2 too.
Yes. The first thing I can say is about the workout. So I take it as a personal therapy for me. Even I don't feel like good, or even I'm sick. So I feel like I gotta go to the gym. Like I'm going and I'm gonna feel better. Like for example, last week, even I catch a flu, but I don't really sick for a long time. That's I don't know, it's my immune system or something. Once I drink tea and exercises, like I feel better. So I take that's one thing. And one more thing is last week I had my 37 weeks appointment, and my doctor is saying, oh, as a first time mom, you only gained like 3 pounds. What happened? How did you do it? Because first time I met my OB and I was complaining. I didn't know if I was pregnant or something. And I was very concerning about the weight gain, because I heard when people is pregnant, they have to gain up to 40 pounds or something. And I was complaining about that. And she was saying about, how did you do it? Like, what did you do? And your baby is like very healthy, and you too, like you look good. And I'm like, oh, Tim. I was like very proud when she like congratulate me about that. And I'm like, yeah, the plane is actually working. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud like to be here and stick to the plan.
Well, I'm really proud. This is for me, and I think all of you on the call know. I don't think everybody else on YouTube does, but I'm going through a lot in my life right now. Just like, thankfully nothing health related, but just like lots of demands and being pulled in so many different directions. And normally, like, my typical spirit in these instances in my life has not been to kind of like prioritize myself, and no matter how tired I am, just be like, I got to do like A through E today for myself. Normally I would just be like, oh, I can't, I got to do this for this person and this. And I'm just like, I'm really, really proud that it's been 12 weeks. And every day I'm like, I mean, there could be like just a fire around me. And I'm like, I gotta do my workout. I gotta eat my vegetables, like my 4 vegetables, my 3 fruits. I'm just like, that's a big deal for me personally. It's like a very big personal accomplishment for me to just like be in this much control of myself before worrying about the people that mean the most to me. So that's felt really, really good.
So I would for sure say, like, I have gone through so many different diets and like fad diets, and just like, it's just been so long where I've just been going through all these different kinds of diets. And, a lot of them like have, like, there was like a period where like, I have like was at a good weight. And then all of a sudden I got too comfortable and like I started gaining all this weight without even knowing. And then I started going on like all of these different kinds of like fad diets, and they never sticked because I always like just binged eat like 2 days after. And then like I would gain all the weight back, and then I would try again. And then it would just happen, and it would just keep happening. Or I would be on like a yo-yo where I would like gain 10 pounds or lose 10 pounds. So it wouldn't be like significant amount of weight where I would gain, but like this time around, it was like a significant amount of weight that I gained. And I was very desperate to finding something that I can just really stick to. Like, trust me, like I know where you're at, and you're the type of person that wants to be like just finding a plan that works for them for life. And I feel like this is the plan that will work for you for a really, really long time. It's just so easy. It's so simple. You feel so satisfied. And it's just like, you're not like missing out on like, your sweet treats if you want it, like you're still like having like the foods that you want, but you're just having, it in like smaller portions and stuff. So I feel like this plan is really, it does really like bring me honestly, like inside confidence that this plan like is working for me and will work for me for a very, very long time, like for life, like I feel like I have big confidence in this plan. So I really, really love this plan a lot. And I like it because even though like you will, like a lot of people will lose weight at a faster rate, some people will lose weight at a slower rate, but if you just continue sticking to something for more than like 2 months or 3 months, it's going to be so repetitive that like it's just going to be something that you're so used to that you don't even want to go back to anything else, and it will eventually like work for you. Maybe it won't work for you like in a significant way where you'll lose a lot of weight in the first phase, but like if you keep sticking to it and getting used to the containers and getting used to all like the different like ways of this plan, like it will happen. So you will do it.
I will say that it's very important to understand that the whole weight loss process is not just about the weight. This program has taught me that it's a holistic, like it's about every every facet of you, mainly your mental and your emotional, psychological well-being. Like you need to change your wiring, because then the food and the working out, like those are disciplines that we can gain. But if you're thinking negative thoughts, or you're like, have these bad emotions and all this other baggage, like understanding that the emotions and all that actually carry weight, because when you start to let go of that, you might have a big loss that week. Just saying. Not from experience or anything, but just seeing it more as a holistic thing and not just some temporary thing that you want to lose this much weight just to get in this dress, and not changing how we are mentally towards food and what does food mean to us. And it really taught me, like, you don't have to celebrate everything with food. Like detaching food from every aspect of life was something that is psychological, and it's something we're taught when we're little. As you grow up, just like you said, you get rewarded with things. And so all of these things showed me that it's truly a mental process. So making sure we change that part and start with that part, because often that's what's causing us to feel that we can't do it, or we don't want to do it this time, because it's something we need to rewire. So truly understanding, and just understanding that, I want to say it, it's not just about the weight, it's about everything around us, who we're around and how they influence us and everything. So taking that holistic approach and trying again, because eventually you're going to find the formula, and the formula is going to work, and then you're going to find success.
I would want to say to you that I was there and believed similar things that you believe right now, that you can't do this, that it's not for you, that those people are special. Though maybe inspiring, you just can't do it. I was totally stuck. I was not having self-control. I thought that, food controlled me, really. My emotions controlled me. And to handle all of that, and to think about going through a program like this and spending the time and money on myself, felt selfish. I felt like I was gonna fail everybody again. And after going through this process for 12 very quick weeks, 15 pounds in pregnancy is mind-blowing to me. So I did not want to be at a place where I gained 60 pounds again in pregnancy. That was terrifying. I had the word morbid, before my description of my weight. And that's also terrifying. And I just didn't want to be there, but I didn't necessarily believe that I could do it. So I understand where you are coming from, and we are not special. We are just doing what our coach is telling us to do for the most part. If we don't do it, we won't see the results as much. But I remember you saying, Carmen, that the process of you losing the weight, I remember you saying this multiple times on past seasons, that really inspired me. And really, I kind of thought, like, okay, maybe I'll just try. Maybe I'll just sign up and see what happens. You said that it wasn't as hard as you had made it out to be in your mind. And if I can tell anybody, it's actually way easier than I think what we build it. build it up to be. So I would just get on the wait list.
So, what I would say to someone who is thinking about this program is that the accountability that happens in this program is really, for me, like the secret ingredient to the success of it um, because having that accountability and having other people beside you who are doing the same program along with you makes a world of difference. And it builds your belief because you're building off of each other. You're helping each other grow. You're helping each other realize their worth, realize that we are worth it, that our self-care is important, taking care of ourselves, and we learn together. And it's just having that, because if you do it on your own, I mean, people have done it, right? They've lost weight on their own, they've gotten healthier on their own, but it's a very small percentage of people that can do this on their own. And I've done multiple times trying to lose weight, only to, quit within a couple weeks. And it's been because I didn't have anyone doing it with me. I didn't have that accountability. I didn't have a team of people on my side who encouraged me daily, who I could encourage, and who could just, keep me going on those hard days, because we all are going to have hard days where we just want to eat all the things, or we don't want to follow the system. We don't want to follow the plan. But having that accountability and the other people is it's monumental in the success of this. And that's really my favorite part of this whole program, is the team and the relationships that you form, and just, having each other's backs, and when someone's having a bad day, someone else coming into our chat and saying, it's okay, but let's move forward, and let's get back on track, and let's do this. And that's really the real change. The life-changing part of this program is the people, even more than the program.
I have to agree with Janine that it takes a village. You can't, and that's really hard. I'm here for anybody. I'll help them in any situation, but it's really hard for me to ask for help. So the fact that this person would be asking for help or is considering help, that's the first step, is just acknowledging that you need help, and it's being vulnerable enough to be able to admit that. And so I think it's really important. Like, I told a really good friend of mine that I know who works out every morning. She sends me a text every morning. I told Krista, and she's reaching out and asking me to work out. I have this group, this wonderful group of people in my season, where I've gotten very vulnerable, and it's not something I normally do. So, and sometimes it catches me by surprise. But I've also done a lot of weight loss programs, and I'm most successful when I have a group that I can hold to a higher standard, but even more importantly, can hold me to a higher standard. And I think by drafting off of each other's momentum, something you said last week, Carmen, momentum only comes through consistency. And so being consistent about checking in with each other every day, and being honest when we mess up, that's a huge first step. So the fact that a person is saying, hey, I need help, but I'm not sure, what do you have to lose?
I would say to someone, like, it's never too late to get started. And portion control is a big part on weight loss journey. And another thing is healthy lifestyle, like prioritize your healthy lifestyle. And one more thing, consistency is the key. So you can't do like anything you want. If you truly want it, you can get to it. So yeah, that's it.
So I mean, so many people have said like a lot of what I was thinking. But I think for me, well, first of all, most certainly am not special. I'm just like everybody else out there that's struggling, and it's such a huge struggle. That's why it is such a huge industry. But I think for me, I was really searching for ways to lose weight during pregnancy, which was this like taboo concept to me, or not taboo, but like, I don't know. I had fear around that. Even though I have enough to sustain this baby, more than enough. So I like knew in my gut that like I could lose weight, but I didn't know how. And that's actually how I came across Carmen's videos, was through watching other women go through it. And I have to echo what somebody else said. Like when I was watching them, I had the same feeling. I'm like, oh, this is hard. Like these women are pregnant, they're doing burpees. They're like, because I think I watched a woman that was in the military, and she was like pregnant and she was doing these exercises, and like I watched her interview and I watched another interview, and I thought to myself, man, this is amazing. I'm gonna go for it, but I don't know. I don't know. Can I do it? When I got accepted, and I was so grateful to be accepted, I realized that like, yes, it's a lot easier than what I thought, even in a pregnancy, even at my stage of growth that I'm in. And particularly, I think it was Sarah's friend. One of Sarah's friends, actually, she was kind enough to like answer a bunch of questions for us at the beginning of our season. And she said something about the people part of it. And it really stuck with me. She was talking about the past seasons and like the way that people have kind of stuck together and how those people have kept the weight off. And now I totally understand that because of what Janine was saying too. Like this program, the actual containers and workouts and things are easier to do than you think. But what really brings it together is the check-ins with the group, the way that we communicate every day, which is through this app that you'll find out about, which is amazing, by the way. But I think it's all the little pieces of the puzzle that kind of come together and make this like kind of like really great concert of a program that just works, and it's worked for people for years. And that's why people are still talking in these groups years after it happens, because the whole process just works all together. So you can do it. Try out.
So amazing to spend these last 12 weeks with you guys. And I know I've made you wait long enough, but we will go ahead and get to our final standings. And in seventh place, down 2.5 pounds, 1.05%, Ms. Neela, just entering her third trimester. Sixth place, down 2.4 pounds, 1.46%, Jenna. In fifth place, 38 weeks, like about to pop that baby out anytime, 7.6 pounds down, 3.43%, Jean. Awesome job. Fourth place, 33 weeks, I think Amy said. By the way, this is the season we've had, there's always typically one pregnant person. And this is like anyway, it's wild. Amy, 15.4 pounds down, 6.89%, fourth place. Awesome job. Third place, down 18.6 pounds, 8.84%, Janine. Good job. And Natasha, I gotta tell you, girlfriend, you've blown me away, because although you're still in second place and you didn't catch Sarah, like, girlfriend, you closed the gap, and you are down 25.8 pounds, 10.73%, pregnant with that seventh baby, second place, Natasha. Like, whatever. I mean, whatever. Holding down the first place spot. She's held it most of the season. 34.8 pounds, 11.65%. And the winner of phase 1, season 12, Miss Sarah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it takes a village, like I said. So thank you, all of you. First of all, thanks, Carmen, for picking me. And thank you, all of you, Amy, Natasha, Janine, Neela, Egina. Jenna. Oh, it's been such a joy and a pleasure getting to know all of you. And I don't feel like this is goodbye. This is like, let's keep going, girls. We're forced to be reckoned with, right, Amy? So yeah, it's been an awesome experience, and I just want to thank everybody for being part of the journey, and obviously putting up with my little dog beside me through most of the videos. And yeah, let's keep doing this. Let's keep rolling.
It really, so often it's so easy to talk about what we want to do, to talk about what we think about doing, what we dream about doing. But it's a complete different story to start doing it, to not just talk the talk, but to walk the walk. And that's what you ladies have done for the past 12 weeks. And so I am incredibly proud of you. Tonight was about celebrating you, all that you've accomplished, and a quick pat on the back, and then refocus, recenter, re-energize, and let's freaking go.